or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradiobreathing.org.
Around our area continues now on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Your reader for this hour is Sally Herzog. Tabled again. Now, we first go to our new paper. It's called the Southtowns Bee, and this is the West Seneca, Orchard Park, and East Aurora newspapers. And it is the Thursday, February 12th, 2026 edition. Now we go to our first article, Tabled again. No decision yet on proposed clocks project. This is by Eric Kepler. For the second time, the West Seneca Town Board on Monday tabled a rezoning request from Diana Harfuck, the owner of Clark's Grove. The rezoning would allow for the construction of a boutique hotel on Clark's property, but was again met with considerable opposition from many neighbors who were in the audience in the courtroom. There's no reason to do this, said resident Chris Osarzak. I have the signatures of 90 people who are around the property that are opposed to this project. I don't oppose progress. This is more about the infrastructure. This would only improve them and their bottom line. Clocks, a 16.3-acre wedding and event venue located at 1245 Seneca Creek Road that originally opened in 1955, was acquired by Harfuck from the Clark family in October of 2022 for $2.5 million. I don't expect the residents to understand the duties and responsibilities of business owners, but we really need to get behind our business owners in this town, Hardick said. It's important to support us. This beautiful project is all about the future of Clark's Grove. I made a commitment when I bought it from the Clark family that I would uphold that beautiful legacy. The $4 million expansion would see the creation of 5 one-story hotel buildings with 5 units in each, with the potential to add 3 more buildings in 2 to 3 years. The project would also add 199 parking spaces and fire pits. The project first came before the town board on November 25th and was met with considerable resistance from neighbors, many of whom made good points. The town board agreed to table the request to give Hardick and her architects an opportunity to make adjustments. Indeed, there were some significant alterations in the plan on Monday, with a smaller number of buildings, improved drainage, more green space, and the elimination of the fire pits. Residents acknowledged and appreciated the willingness to make concessions, but perhaps the biggest problem remained unsolved: infrastructure. I cannot fault the plans. They're good plans, and I'm glad they're accepted. The feedback. The issues I have is that Erie County simply does not have the infrastructure. It doesn't spend the time or money on any maintenance. These roads are terrible. There is no pedestrian access, said resident Amanda Petrelli. It's a wonderful plan, but it would be even better plan in a rural area that does not impact traffic, roads, or electrical. I don't think that the county infrastructure can support this. The comment period on the subject stretched almost 2 hours, with more than 20 people approaching the podium to speak and several more commenting via Facebook. Unlike the first meeting, sentiment was a bit more evenly split between pros and cons. I'm in favor of this project. Change is going to happen all the time. They're going to be building. They're going to be activity. That's just going to happen, said resident Zach Armstrong. Clubs opened in 1955 as a chicken farm, and then it became a picnic banquet. Then it became a banquet facility. That property has evolved since the beginning of time. I'm a local business owner myself, and I've expanded many times in West Seneca, and I've given back just as much to the community. That's just a part of business to me. It's not easy doing business in New York State. It gouges you for everything you have. The West Seneca Chamber of Commerce also submitted a letter of support for the project. Other residents pointed out more potential issues, including already overwhelmed sewers, increased traffic, water flow, and pressure, the town's already suspect electrical grid, deer, concerned over additional development in the future, the project's effect on property values, and the idea that spot rezoning is a bad precedent and inconsistent with the town's master plan. You have to listen to what the residents want, said resident Denise Bauer. I'm sure it would be great for her business, but you should represent us and not just the business owners. When the last person had spoken, the public hearing was closed. Supervisor Dixon took the board into a short executive session to confer with the town attorney. Upon returning, Dixon made the motion to table the request again, as the board still had a few questions regarding the State Environmental Quality Review Act that had been filed as part of the project. This is a very complicated issue, Dixon said. We want to make sure we get it right. Watson's Chocolate celebrates 80 years in business. Watson's Chocolates, whose presence in western New York includes a store in Orchard Park, celebrated 80 years of business this week. The family-owned confectioner was founded in western New York in 1946 and continues to operate under the guidance of multiple generations while producing handmade chocolate using original family recipes. The company was established by brothers Louis and John Watson and their wives, who began making chocolate in the back room of their soda fountain and luncheonette in Kenmore. What started as a small local operation has grown into a regional brand with multiple retail locations and a national shipping business. Leadership of the company has remained within the Watson family. In 1987, the founder's son, Jim Watson, assumed ownership. His daughter, Whitney Watson, later joined the business, helping to modernize operations while maintaining traditional production methods. Today, 4 generations of the family are involved in overseeing the company. Watson's is best known for its sponge candy, a Buffalo area specialty, featuring a light honeycomb center coated in chocolate. The candy is produced in small batches and hand-cut before being dipped in chocolate. It is dipped in milk, dark, and orange-flavored chocolate. The company also offers a variety of other confections, including sea salt caramels, butterscotch, chocolate-covered pretzels, and assorted gift boxes. Despite its growth, the company emphasizes its commitment to small batch production and high-quality ingredients. Watson ships products nationwide and remains a familiar presence in western New York, where its chocolates are often associated with holidays, celebrations, and family traditions. Company officials say preserving the legacy of the original recipe while adapting to changing consumer needs has been a key to Watson's longevity. Company officials say preserving the legacy of the original recipe is a key. Customers have found and shared their stories and memories of the candy business on social media and the Watson's Chocolate website, Watson, that's WATSON, chocolate.com. Watson's now has 8 locations across western New York, including their flagship location in Kenmore. Teen of the Week. This is sponsored by Erie One Bosse's, Harlem Road in West Seneca. Andrew Petchko, a senior at DePue High School, is this week's Teen of the Week. Andrew has been described as a student with an outstanding character, work ethic, and talent. According to his advisor, he has consistently demonstrated a strong commitment to leadership, and his hard work is truly commendable. Throughout his time in high school, Andrew has excelled in his extracurricular activities, sports, his volunteer work, and academically. Since his freshman year, Andrew has been an active member of the Student Senate, gradually advancing from the representative to president. In addition to the Student Senate, Andrew is a member of the French Club and Sources of Strength, a program that encourages students to causes and develop strengths in their personal life. Due to his impressive leadership skills, Andrew joined the Link Club, or Link Crew, where he guided incoming freshmen, showing them what it takes to be successful in their transition to high school. Andrew is also invited to represent the 12th District of the New York State Council of Leadership and the student activities. This year, Andrew is selected to attend the NASSP Lead National Conference in Washington, D.C. The conference focuses on leadership, training, networking, and skill building through workshops and keynote speakers. Beyond school, Andrew finds ways to extend his leadership skills. He has fundraised for charities such as the Special Olympics and the No Kid Hungry. The last few years, he volunteered with the Wandering Wildcat Book Distribution Program, the DePue Community Center, and the Lancaster Youth Bureau Day of Giving. As a result of his service, Andrew was inducted into the Lancaster Youth Bureau Hall of Fame. Andrew has been on the varsity cross-country team since he was a freshman and became captain his senior year. He is also captain of the varsity indoor track and field team, where he broke DePue High School's record in the 4x400 mile relay his sophomore year. A year later, he broke his own record, attended the NYSPSSA State Championship, and became one of the Section 6 champions. Andrew is also on the varsity outdoor track and field team and was selected as captain his junior year. In his sophomore year, the team was the divisional and sectional championship. With everything on his plate, Andrew finds time to work seasonally at Green Acres Ice Cream in DePue. After he graduates, Andrew has plans to study political science, then attend law school. His goal is to work in Washington, D.C. for the federal government, serving and advocating for the people. Eventually, he wants to be selected into the United States Senate or House of Representatives. B Newspapers, in conjunction with a sponsor, will showcase exceptional seniors in 9 of our communities as Teen of the Week. The highlighted students will be conscientious, hardworking, and self-motivated individuals who continue to better their communities. These students exceed expectations and are enthusiastic learners. One student will be awarded a scholarship at the end of the 2025-26 school year. Spindle items. This is by Eric Kepler. Veterans bricks. The deadline is fast approaching for the West Seneca Joint Veterans Committee's Engraved Veterans Bricks program. The price for engraved bricks is $115, and the orders for bricks will be taken. This is already passed through February 15th. Bricks containing the names of veterans will be placed in the Walkway of Freedom sometime this spring. Each 4x4 or 4x8 inch brick is engraved with 2 lines of up to 18 characters per line, including spaces and punctuation. The logo of the branch of service will be engraved. More than 2,300 engraved bricks have been placed in the Walkway of Freedom complex located between the West Seneca Library and the Town Hall. The walkway is part of the West Seneca Veterans Memorial Park. Narcan training. Staff from Spectrum Health Medication Assisted Treatment Team will once again share community resources and offer free training on the use of Narcan, or naloxone, from noon until 3 p.m. on the second Friday of the month in the Town of West Seneca Community Center, atrium at 1300 Union Road. Narcan can reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. Knowing how to properly administer Narcan to someone who may have accidentally overused a prescription pain medication or who used a street drug that was laced with a powerful additive can help save lives. The training takes only 2 minutes. The M&T team will be there on February 13th, March 13th, April 10th, May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, and August 14th. Spectrum Health also operates a full-service counseling center at 326 Orchard Park Road in West Seneca. Gallivan bill will enhance benefits for responders. Senator Patrick M. Gallivan is co-sponsoring several bills in the New York State Senate that would enhance benefits for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers throughout the state. The legislation would update disability benefits for volunteers, allow workers to receive additional tax benefits, and establish a mental health support program. The legislation includes S. 5432, increases disability benefits for volunteer first responders injured while on duty. The Volunteer Benefits Law, which provides health care coverage, wage compensation, and other assistance, has not been updated in decades, and compensation rates no longer adequately reflect current economic realities. S. 5407A establishes the First Responder Peer Support Program Act to help volunteer exposed to distressing situations and ensure they have access to systems that prioritize their mental well-being and address the challenges they face. And S. 6019 allows volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers to receive both a New York State tax credit and up to 10% exemption of local property taxes, if authorized by their municipality. Big milestones ahead for OPCSD. As we approach the final phases of our $114 million capital improvement project, I'm excited to share the progress we've made and the significant work scheduled for the upcoming summer that will directly benefit our students and staff. When voters overwhelmingly approved this zero additional tax impact capital project in May of 2022, we committed to our community to modernize our facilities while staying within the promise of no additional tax impact. Despite familiar significant escalation in construction costs since 2021 due to post-pandemic supply chain issues and regional projects like the new Bill Stadium, I'm proud to report that we have delivered a project that will have a positive impact on future generations of Quakers. Our most exciting milestone over the next 2 years will be the completion of elementary school additions at Eggert, Ellicott, Wyndham, and South Davis, ready to welcome students in September of 2026. These expanded spaces will allow us to offer pre-kindergarten programs in each elementary building, bringing early childhood education closer to home for our families. The addition features modern classrooms with state-of-the-art finishes, improved lighting, and enhanced learning environments designed specifically for our elementary learners. This summer will be our most ambitious construction period yet, as we tackle Phase 6 renovations at both the middle and high schools. These projects require extensive work that can only be completed when students aren't in the buildings. At Orchard Park Middle School, we'll be undertaking comprehensive music program upgrades, including renovated choral and practice rooms, as well as updated music classrooms and orchestra spaces. The gymnasium will receive much-needed improvements. We'll be installing a completely new heating system, as the current system is approaching 50 years old. This portion of the project will take us 2 years to complete due to the substantial scope of the work. The heating system upgrade requires extensive abatement and remediation work to ensure a safe, modern, and efficient climate control system for years to come. The high school will see equally significant improvements. Our music wing will be renovated to better serve our award-winning programs, while the cafeteria and gymnasium will be upgraded to meet the needs of our student body. We'll be replacing outdated lockers and renovating bathrooms on the first floor of the high school. The media center and computer classrooms will be modernized for 21st century learning. And we'll replace sections of the roof to protect our investments. While escalating costs prevented us from building the planned new pool in this project, we're making immediate repairs to ensure our current pool remains functional for the next several years. Despite unprecedented construction cost increases that would have pushed the total scope of this project to $192 million in today's dollars, we've carefully managed priorities to deliver maximum value within our $114 million budget. This meant difficult decisions, including not completing the music wing addition and the new pool, but it preserved our commitment to taxpayers while still delivering critical improvements. Construction for Phase 6 begins in April of 2026, with completion targeted for December of 2027. Our elementary additions will be fully operational for the 2026-27 school year, opening in September. Thank you for your continued support. Emery Park Magic Carpet Lift reopens following repairs. The Magic Carpet Lift at Emery Park Ski Hill in South Wales has reopened following repairs. Erie County Parks officials announced yesterday, marking a boost for local winter recreation. A Magic Carpet, a 920-foot long conveyor belt that carries skiers and snowboarders from the base to the top of the hill was installed in recent years as part of an upgrade that replaced the aging T-bar lift. It was one of the longest surface conveyor lifts of its kind in North America, offering a smooth, easy ride uphill that is especially helpful for beginners and families. The ski hill at Emery Park, operated by the Erie County Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, offers free downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, and snowboarding when there is sufficient snow. Additionally, Erie County Federation of Snowmobile Clubs operates a network of snowmobile trails across Erie County, which includes trails in Emery Park. The Magic Carpet normally runs Wednesday through Friday afternoons and weekends, and holidays when weather and staffing permit. The lift is expected to resume regular hours throughout the season when conditions allow. Visitors of any county park is reminded to check the county's daily winter sports status page at www.erie.gov/parks before heading out, as snow conditions and operations can change rapidly. Horizon CEO D. Girolamo to retire. Horizon Corporations, which includes Horizon Health Services, Horizon Village, and Horizon Health Alliance, announced that Chief Executive Officer Aaron D. Girolamo will retire in July of 2026, concluding a 20-year leadership tenure marked by major organizational growth, statewide advocacy, and expanded behavioral health services across Western New York. D. Girolamo joined nonprofit Horizon in 2006 as Chief Financial Officer after 17 years with Ernst & Young Healthcare Consulting Practice. Her strategic leadership and focus on operational efficiency led to successive promotions to Chief Operating Officer and ultimately Chief Executive Officer. Over the past 4 years, D. Girolamo worked closely with Horizon's Board of Directors and executive leadership teams to develop a long-term succession plan aligned with both her personal goals and the organization's future needs. As part of the plan, Randy Vandermark Murray has served as president for the past 3 years and will assume the roles of CEO and president upon Girolano's retirement. During her tenure, D. Girolamo guided Horizon through significant expansion, strengthening financial stability while advancing the organization's mission. Under her leadership, Horizon grew from 200 to 900 employees and increased annual revenue from $14 million to $90 million, according to the organization. She also played a key role in transforming operations across all service lines and also was known for her hands-on management style that emphasized collaboration, culture building, and innovation. Her work extended beyond the organization as she served on numerous county and statewide committees focused on healthcare reform. Serving as the leader of this remarkable organization for the last 20 years has been a privilege I never dared dream, D. Giancarlo said in a statement. I fell in love with the mission and people in my first week, which only deepened with time. I have a great peace after planning this transition for many years, knowing with certainty that under the executive team and Brandy's leadership, the legacy of excellence will carry on. Vandermark Murray brings more than 2 decades of clinical and leadership experience to the role. She previously served as Senior Vice President of Operations, overseeing behavioral health programs across the organization, and has spent the past decade expanding mental health and substance use services throughout the region. She is a licensed mental health counselor and a certified alcohol and substance abuse counselor. Stepping into the role of CEO and President at Horizons fills me with both humility and deep gratitude, Vandermark Murray said. Her commitment is to lead with heart, integrity, and a steadfast belief in the power of healing as we continue working together to provide excellent behavioral health services to our community. Nora McGuire, Chair of Horizons Board of Directors, praised DiGiramo's leadership and expressed confidence in the transition. There is no question that Aaron's strategy, vision, and supportive leadership made this growth possible, McGuire said. We are thrilled that Brandy will assume the CEO and President role. She has played an integral role on our leadership team and is well prepared to guide Horizon into its next chapter. And before we move on to our next paper, we'd like to tell you you're listening to Around Our Area on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And we go to the Sun, and this is the Friday, February 13th, 2026 edition. Go to our first article. After one semester, Frontier Hamburg schools report good compliance with new cell phone ban. This is by Chris Graham. Going into the 2025-26 school year, one of the main talking points for school districts was what the implementation of the state's ban on internet-enabled devices throughout the school day would look like. The policy requires students to put away internet-enabled devices such as cell phones for class, during lunch, and in the hallways. Prior to the policy being implemented, the Frontier Central School District and the Hamburg Central School District had different approaches to cell phones in the school buildings. Frontier did not have a policy on cell phones prior to the state's ban. Beginning in May, they did implement a ban on cell phones for students in grades K through 8. In Hamburg, there was a policy that banned cell phones for elementary and middle school students, but at the high school level, cell phones were allowed on a classroom-to-classroom basis. Since the start of the 2025-26 academic year, both districts and its students have been adjusting to the new policy. With one semester in the books, both districts are reporting that students have been complying with the new policy. At Frontier, the district established a 4-tier warning system for cell phone usage. Level 1 is a warning, and the phone is kept in the student's locker. Level 2 means they turn their phone into the main office for 10 days, and the phone is returned at the end of the school day. Level 3 means they turn in their phones for 20 days, and the parent has to pick it up at the conclusion of the school day. And at level 4, the device is confiscated, returned only to a parent or guardian, and the contract is signed outlining further discipline. At Frontier Middle School for the first semester, 32 students had a level 1 offense, 2 students had a level 2 offense, 1 student had a level 3 offense, and 1 student had a level 4 offense. Most of the level 1 offenses were 8th graders. For the level 2 offenses, One was a 6th grader, while the other was a 7th grader. The Level 3 offense was committed by an 8th grader, while the Level 4 offense was also committed by an 8th grader. There were more male students with cell phone violations, 21, to females at 15. Catherine Bone, an assistant principal at Frontier High School, said a staff survey of the middle school showed teachers have been in favor of the change to band devices. Some of the comments that came through in that survey were students were having much more meaningful conversations. They were more engaged and less distracted, Bone said. Bone, who previously served as a dean to students at the middle school, said teachers also noticed less drama between students now that devices are banned. Bone said a lot of disciplinary referrals and student issues she dealt with were because of social media and cell phones. There was a drop in that because they do not have those during the day, Bone said. For the high school, which started by outlining students that reach a level 2 offense, 77 students received a level 2 offense, 14 received a level 3 offense, and 9 received a level 4 offense. For the level 2 offenders, 13 were freshmen, 15 were sophomores, 23 were juniors, and 26 were seniors. For the level 3 offenders, 2 were freshmen, 6 were sophomores, 5 were juniors, and 1 was a senior. For the level 4 offenders, 4 were sophomores, 3 were juniors, and 2 were seniors. As was the case at the middle school, there were more male students with cell phone violations at 63 than females at 37. Nina Colucci, Dean of Students for the high school, noted that because the policy was in place for the middle school last spring, numbers of violations for incoming freshmen were lower since they were used to the ban, where the upperclassmen were adjusting to it starting this academic year. Colucci said for students who reach level 3, where the parent has to come into the school to pick up the phone, she speaks with them in detail to detail the policy and what potential discipline comes after should the infraction continue. We've had mostly positive feedback from parents, Colucci said. I've actually had some parents say the phone can stay there. They're supportive of the policy. For students that have reached level 4, a contract is given to the parent or guardian outlining further discipline that can be taken if a student continues to not comply with the ban. At this point, the 20-day turn in resets and its place in additional reprimands, which start at after-school detention and can rise to in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension. The contract is signed by the student, parent or guardian, and a school administrator. We have not had anyone move past anything other than a detention and a 20-day reset at this point, Colucci said. At both the middle school and the high school, teachers have expressed they would like a poster explaining the policy and the warning system. That could be hung in the classroom. District officials have now released a poster to staff and students explaining exactly that. Even with overall good compliance across the school buildings, Colucci said this ban was always going to be a learning experience for everyone involved. We know, going into this year, that it was going to be a learning year in terms of how this policy looks and how it rolls out, Colucci said. As we go, we're learning about things we need to adjust moving forward. While Hamburg did not have specific data on cell phone infractions, as Frontier did, Superintendent Thomas Adams said the ban is working well in eliminating distractions in the classroom. What we're seeing is the impact on the classroom has been positive, Adams said. The distractions based on cell phones, those have been lessened substantially. There are some students that are finding themselves getting consequences for having their cell phones out in the hallway, common area, or classroom. At Hamburg, first offense is a warning, and the student has to leave their phone in his or her locker. On a second offense, this second offense would result in the student storing their device in the main office for the remainder of the day. A third offense would also result in students storing the device at the main office, and a parent or guardian would need to come in and retrieve it at the end of the day. Adams said there is some signage in rooms about the policy and the consequences. The full policy and warning system is available as part of the district's digital newsletter and on its website. Because the district already outlawed cell phones at the elementary school and middle school levels, Adams said they are seeing more infractions at the high school level. In the past, for the high school, Adams said it was commonplace to see phones in the halls and cafeteria. Teachers were also allowed autonomy on students having their phones out or using them during class. That switch has been part of the learning curve for this year, with the ban now in place. You've got students in there who've been very used to having their phones throughout the high school area. Throughout their high school career, Adams said. The change that happened over the summer, it takes some getting used to, and is an adjustment for everybody. In September, all school districts will publish a report detailing enforcement of the policy for the prior school year. The report will include data of the students that have faced disciplinary action and analysis of any demographic disparity in enforcement of this policy. If a statistically significant disparity in enforcement is identified, the report will include a mitigation action plan. Village of Hamburg proposing tax increase of 3.98% for 2026 and 27 budget. This is by Chris Graham. The Village of Hamburg is proposing a tax rate increase of 3.98% for its 2026-27 budget. As it stands, the 3.98% increase would be higher than the current year budget, which had an increase of 3.88%. The projected $13.5 million spending plan would include a projected tax rate of $24.78 per thousand of assessed valuation for 2026 and 27. The tax rate for the current fiscal year is $23.83 per thousand of assessed value. For a village home with an assessed value of $90,000, $180,000 full market value, the estimated property tax would be $2,230.20, which is an increase of $85.50 per year, or $7.13 per month in comparison with the previous fiscal year. Number one, the village, like homes and businesses, is not immune from some of the increases that people and businesses see, said Village Administrator Jason Koza, explaining the tax increase. We have seen increases in health, property, and casualty insurance. We've budgeted increases for utilities. These are general increases that we've seen across the board, whether you're a business, resident, or government. Koza said there is a projected budgeted increase of 15% for health insurance alone. The proposed tax levy is $8,484,543. The current tax levy is $8,140,512. This is an increase of $344,031, or 4.23%. The next fiscal year will also include an increase in debt. The municipality is experiencing additional debt due to the ongoing water consolidation project. The debt payment on the water tower project for 2026 and 27 will be $365,628. The village awarded a bid of $10 million to Indiana-based Phoenix Fabricators and Erectors, LLC, for construction of the 180-foot water tower on a plot behind Hamburg Middle School, near the Hamburg Central School District Maintenance Building. The water tower is Phase 2 of the water consolidation project, with Phase 1 being the installation of new water lines along Division Street between the middle school and North Street for $1.9 million. The tower, which will hold 1.25 million gallons of water, has been under construction since the start of 2025. The tower is expected to be operational by the fall. We're in the middle of the water tower project, so we're trying to get that project over the hump, Koza said. This year, in particular, there's been an increase in the debt due to the fact that it's under construction. We've incurred more short-term debt to see that project through. The village has a $5 million grant from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation that can be used for both phases of the project. The debt picture for the village does improve after the 2026-27 fiscal year, according to Koza. The village will have one other capital project that they're funding in this upcoming budget, a cold storage building at the Department of Public Works campus to store plow trucks and other DPW equipment. The village is adding an additional $250,000 into the budget for this project. It will be constructed out there, the DPW campus, and replace an existing building, Koza said. It adds a little more storage space to what we have out there. The Hamburg Village Board did hold a public hearing to override the tax cap on February 2nd. No one spoke during the hearing. The board has yet to pass a resolution to override the cap. The village will hold a public hearing on the tentative 2026-27 budget at 7 p.m. Monday, March 2nd, at the Hamburg Village Hall, 100 Main Street in Hamburg. Village of Hamburg contacted by ECTOH about placing Narcan stand in the community. This also is by Chris Graham. Another tool to reduce the effects of the opiate overdose may be on its way to the Village of Hamburg. The Erie County Department of Health and the Office of Harm Reduction recently reached out to the municipality across the county about placing purple Narcan stands in communities. The stands contain Narcan and fentanyl test strips, along with information on how to contact the health department. Currently, there are 120 of these stands throughout the county. According to the information sent to the village, the stands can be placed at municipal buildings, fire stations, police stations, community centers, or libraries. Kara Kane, Public Information Officer for the Department of Health, said the initiative has a focus on increasing the availability of Narcan to suburban and rural communities. for 2025 through October, there had been 204 overdose deaths in the county, according to the county records. Of those 204, 117 were confirmed to be opioid-related. Village Administrator Jason Koza said he's looking to receive more data from the Department of Health to see if the need is there to place the stand in the municipality. Additionally, Police Chief Richard Scarra was set to talk with the Nicholas Pickall, an EMS chief with the Hamburg Volunteer Fire Company, to discuss the possibility of positioning one of the stands in the village. Village police officers that are on the road do currently possess Narcan. Village Mayor Thomas Tallman said the municipality wants to do whatever it can to assist someone, especially if it's a life or death situation. If it's a benefit to the community in saving a couple of lives, just like an AED would, I think we'll end up finding a spot for a box such as that, Koza said. Town of Boston officials talk winter weather difficulties. This also is by Chris Graham. Boston Town Supervisor Jason Ketting admits it has not been the easiest of winters for the town with constant snow and cold, but he stressed during the February 4th Town Board meeting that it's important that residents do not place their garbage totes on the road when putting them out for weekly pickup. Be cognizant of where you are placing them, Ketting said. The supervisor said it's important to create a space to put them until it warms up and the snow starts melting, such as the end of the driveway, because it's causing issues at times with plows. We have had totes that are damaged, Ketting said, but he also noted that on the flip side, he has received complaints from residents who said their garbage cans and totes are often left on the road by Waste Management. He said he's been in touch with the company, who assured him that they would make sure that that doesn't happen moving forward. As far as the roads and plowing, Highway Superintendent Robert Tellick told the board that because of how tough the winter has been, it has caused issues for some departments locally who are in need of additional salt. He said it's harder to come by this time of year, and that those who need to must order at least 70% of what they ordered previously if they are able to get it. Tellick said the highway department was prepared and is prepared with plenty of salt for the stretch run of the winter. We should definitely be in good shape for the rest of the winter, Tellick said. The board will hold its next regular meeting at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, February 18th at the Boston Town Hall at 8500 Boston State Road. Erie County's Cancer Services Program partners with Tops Friendly Markets to offer free colorectal cancer FIT kits. This March, the Erie County Cancer Services Program, in partnering with the Tops Friendly Markets, to provide free FIT kits for National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Kits will be available at the Hamburg Tops at 6150 South Park Avenue from 4 until 7 p.m. on Tuesday, March 10th. We are excited to collaborate with Tops once again to distribute FIT kits at 13 of their locations to eligible adults, said Michelle Wysocki, director of the program. This partnership allows us to raise awareness about the importance of colorectal cancer screening, address common misconceptions, and show how easy and private the process can be. The FIT kit is a simple, non-invasive test that allows average risk adults ages 45 to 74 to screen for colorectal cancer at home. After collecting a sample, you mail it to a lab using a prepaid envelope. We want to make colorectal cancer screening accessible and convenient for everyone, Wysocki said. Our program ensures that eligible Erie County residents can get screened regardless of their insurance coverage because early detection saves lives. The program also provides free breast, cervical, and colorectal cancer screening and diagnostic services for uninsured or underinsured adults in the county. Additional diagnostics tests, if needed, may also be covered through a New York State program. For more information, visit erie.gov/cancer services or call 716-858-7376. Applications now available for Jim Smith Memorial Scholarships. Applications are now being accepted by the Erie County Extension Foundation for the Jim Smith Memorial Scholarships. Smith was an avid supporter of the 4-H youth program and 4-H livestock auctions at the Erie County Fair. Scholarships are available to 4-H or FFA graduating seniors to further their educational needs at college, technical, or vocational schools. Several scholarships are expected to be awarded. The deadline for submitting scholarships applications is Thursday, April 2nd. The foundation will hold its annual golf outing on Saturday, July 25th at Chestnut Hill Country Club at 1330 Broadway in Darien Center. Proceeds benefit the scholarships. Openings for the golf outing are available. Scholarship applications and golf outing registration and information are available at eriecoef.org. You've been listening to Around Our Area, a weekly look at community newspapers from around Western New York. Your reader for this hour has been Sally Herzog. Thank you so much for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Ampol Eagle. At 4 o'clock, we have the Grand Island Niagara County Tribune Sentinel. And following that, at 5 o'clock, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print